ComSat. Maybe that's why he didn't ComSat, because I haven't seen an academy for him. So wow, several SCVs getting taken out there before they run away. A couple more SCVs getting taken out on the way back, and not having to run back through the remnants of that minefield. That was absolutely devastating for NaDa. That was absolutely horrible. That basically mine just spent like 8 vultures, it looked like, and just killed a ton of SCVs, an absolute ton of SCVs. Plus he took out a tank, and I think possibly a Goliath or something like that. So that was really, really devastating for NaDa. He does have that third base up though, sooner than mine, so it's feasible that he could be able to kind of come back here. A little bit of battle going on in the middle here though, and mine taking that ground a little bit better. So we're establishing this standoff already. You usually expect to see this kind of a standoff a little bit late. Well, no, I guess it's kind of standard, especially on this kind of a map. But I don't know. I would personally expect this big standoff type thing to come later on in the game. There'd be more maneuvering. Still standoffs with tanks, but there'd be a little bit more maneuvering, I would think, with this few unit count. But it looks like they're both just establishing firing lines there, just content to take their unprotected naturals. Yeah, so ComSat's finally going down for NaDa. So he did, yeah, like I said, I don't think he had that academy up before. So now he has his academy up. He's getting ComSats out. There's even still mines in his protected natural that he never took care of in the first place. Yeah, going back to that minefield, that was crazy. That he just had to kind of run through there. I'm surprised he didn't lose more units, honestly, in just running through that minefield. Especially considering he almost lost that tank with just the first set of mines. So yeah, ComSat's up. First thing NaDa does with his ComSat is takes a ComSat off, takes a couple hits on those buildings across the way there. And I'm surprised he's not trying to float a building over there or something like that. Dropships getting produced now for mine. So we're now going into the definite mid game for Terran versus Terran here. NaDa trying to pull a reach around. Mine expecting it. Put some tanks on his opposite ridge though. That would have been a really, really good move by NaDa if he'd been able to sneak those forces around there and come at mine from behind his defenses. As you can see there, he's got a defensive line there, and several SCVs repairing that refinery just so he can keep using it. Gas, basically the primary resource of Terran versus Terran games. The more gas, the more... I mean, because you need gas for all the important units, basically. Obviously, tanks and Goliaths and dropships, all using gas. Particularly tanks being important, as we can see right here, some tanks exchanging shell fire here. NaDa having to fall back a little bit, so he's not going to be able to shell that refinery a little bit. That's probably why mine pushed up, was to try and secure that refinery, and he has secured that refinery, even though he did have to try and take that low ground to do it. So he's going to be having dropships out soon, though, and depending on how NaDa places his troops, he does have his Goliaths pretty much around his tanks. If they were a little bit offset, then he would have to... Wait, no, NaDa's Goliath's moving out here. I'm not sure where exactly they're going, but that could be a little bit bad if Mind loads up these dropships and decides to drop on top of NaDa when his Goliaths are away. Those Goliaths are what protect you from those counter drops. If there's Goliaths hanging around your tanks, then they can protect from things getting dropped over there. Oh, mine goes off, taking out. Wow. That was a huge, huge mine. It looked like Mind had his units on move there instead of attack move, and they just ignore it. And it looked like he actually almost caught it because it looked like he stopped his troops, but it was a little bit too late. And okay, so that's where NaDa's Goliaths were going, as he scouted those command centers going up in the north, and NaDa doing a very, very good job of coming back here from that deficit. He's just taken out. Actually, I'm not sure if he killed the command center or if it was canceled. But Mind had those dropships already loaded up. He's able to drop a few tanks back here, though. NaDa is going to be able to surround those tanks, though. He's getting within their firing range, and he's going to be able to take out those 3 tanks with those 3 Goliaths. Very well done by NaDa. Excellent, excellent maneuvering by NaDa, and I'm not sure... That'd be funny if those SCVs he just sent out... Yeah, it looks like those SCVs were sent out to the base that... NaDa was just attacking, but it looks like he's re-secured. He's dropped more tanks back up there. Goliaths are coming in. If he pauses those Goliaths right there, they'll be able to mow down those SCVs as they come in. But it looks like he doesn't know those SCVs are coming. He's going to try and come in and attack those tanks instead. And now he sees it. He's got one tank moving up there as well, and more tanks dropping in here. I'm sorry, mine just kind of dropping forces in here piecemeal, trying to save that base there. It looks like he is going to be able to accomplish it because NaDa it's very, very far away for NaDa to resupply that army up there. So those Goliaths are slowly dwindling. In the meantime, NaDa expanding on the right side, trying to keep up economically because I think he realizes that mine is going to be able to keep that top left base. He needs to stay ahead economically. Well, not ahead, but he needs to stay even. He has been pumping SCVs out of all of his 3 command centers, so he's pretty much seems to be caught up economically. He's got enough SCVs out, maybe a little bit skimpy on the SCV count. Mine, however, pushing in here, mine almost within firing range of NaDa's SCV line for this natural here. So that could be pretty bad. Looks like mine's going to splash one of his tanks to death because of those SCVs. SCV is really, really good in 10 versus 10. You see him used a lot in this sort of fashion, obviously. And yeah, see 2 SCVs going in there, sacrificing themselves. Oh, somehow, there must have been tanks behind that barely took out those SCVs. Dang, one more SCV, and I think he would have taken out those 2 tanks. But or if the SCVs were placed a little bit differently. In any case, yeah, SCVs. Usually, if you see SCVs running out, it's kind of a sign of desperation, but it's not uncommon for in turn versus Terran for players to send out several SCVs, and wow, 2 tanks with like a combined total of 10 hit points, barely surviving and holding that ridge there. So things, I have to say things are looking a little bit bad for NaDa here. I'd probably give the advantage to Mind at this point. He's just been a little bit more consistently pushing in here. He's a little bit more ahead economically, and it looks like technologically as well. And Mind now putting up a crap load of turrets on the side of his base to make sure that NaDa doesn't do any surgical counter drop, because that would be the kind of thing that would that's basically the kind of thing that turns things around if you're at a disadvantage. If you can do a nice kind of counter drop and take out some supply buildings or production facilities or something like that. And that's what those turrets were there for, but and they at least keep mine from flying all the way into NaDa's base. But in the meantime, he's got a ton of tanks right inside of his base. One of his factories, he's just getting and he's sending out SCVs, but really that they're not going to do a lot of good without some support. He should have probably waited for those SCVs and sent them in while he was attacking with those other forces. And NaDa just realized he was a little bit too surrounded there, and so he taps out for that first game. So Mind's taking the first game on Katrina, and this is a best of 5 set, so it's going to go to well, obviously it's going to go to game 2, but all right, this is Mole Trap. Thanks for listening. I don't know if I'm going to do game 2 of this set. Originally we were going to do some triple commentaries on these, but I don't know where Diggity went. He's disappeared off the face of the earth, as did Combat. So we might triple the rest of this set, or I might just go and do something else. We'll see what happens. All right. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed that. And as usual, go check out everyone else that's commentating. Basically, everyone I'm subscribed to. There's a bunch of other English commentators in there. SC2GG.com. And check out the GomStar Invitational again. And that can be found at gsi.gomtv.com. And it has been absolutely excellent. Absolutely ridiculously excellent. Tasteless is casting those games. He's casting them live in English. It's the first time anything like that has ever happened. So definitely check that stuff out. I believe the next set is in a few days. I'm not sure. You can check out the Team Liquid schedule, or you can check out sc2gg.com. There will be something telling you when that is. And if you are watching it, usually there's several of us from sc2gg.com watching them live, and we have our chat room set up, actually embedded on the website there, so you can go and check that out too while you're watching and chat it up. So check that out as well. It's excellent, excellent stuff. Definitely watch that and show some support. All right, thanks for listening, everyone.